afternoon, everyone. I know we still have some folks trickling in to join this webinar, but I want to be mindful of everybody's time, and we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Anna Bradshaw. I'm an assistant director here in City of San Antonio's Economic Development Department, and today I'm excited to be presenting some changes we're making to our SBEDA Ordinance. Before we get into those changes, I want to just share a little bit of the history surrounding the SBEDA program and those amendments. As many of y'all are familiar with SBEDA, know that the program is really intended to promote the use of those small minority and women-owned businesses on city contracts to address disparities that exist here in our community. A lot of folks don't know SBEDA has been around since the early 90s, remaining largely unchanged from 1992 until it was overhauled in 2010. Again, additional changes were made in 2016. And so we're excited to be moving forward with these additional changes that continue to tailor our program and ensure that it's providing the assistance needed by our small business community. Before we get into the changes further, I want to highlight some of the accomplishments in the program. For our last fiscal year, we're very excited to report that over $320 million was paid to our local small minority and women-owned businesses through the SBEDA program. That includes almost 500 unique businesses that were able to utilize the benefits of the SBEDA program in assisting with their accessing city procurements. It's our second year over $300 million, and we really look to continue to build on that success going forward. We do strive to make our data publicly available, and this slide further highlights that, broken out by segmented goals. But really the key takeaway is if you scan that QR code, you are able to access our monthly SBEDA data that we make available on our economic performance dashboard. So feel free to check out that information, learn more about the program, and more importantly, track its performance over the course of the year. Now jumping into the SBEDA Ordinance amendments. So just a few highlights with it. First and foremost, that the SBEDA program will continue to be a race and gender conscious program. We will continue to deploy contracting goals for minority, women-owned businesses, as well as African-American-owned businesses, Asian-American businesses, Hispanic-owned businesses, as well as Native American-owned businesses. We will also continue to provide preference points for small local businesses. And as always, we'll continue to have targeted outreach efforts to ensure that those local small businesses are aware of contracting opportunities here at the city and have access to information related to those, as well as capacity building programs we have within the city of San Antonio. And as I highlighted before, we will continue to provide that enhanced reporting to ensure transparency of the program to the public. So the amendments that we're rolling out fall into two major buckets. First being eligibility criteria, who's able to access the benefits of the SBEDA program, and then some changes to the tools available through the SBEDA program. As you'll see, and I'll go into in further detail in the next few slides, there's two primary changes to the eligibility criteria that will be changing. And then a number of changes we'll be making to the tools, including eliminating some underutilized tools, as well as deploying new tools to enhance opportunities for those smallest emerging businesses within our community. But the key takeaway from this slide is these changes will go into effect on July 1st of this year. And if you or your business are currently engaged in a city contract, that will remain unchanged as a result of these amendments. So it will only be effective for those new contracts occurring after July 1st of this year. So looking at eligibility within the SBEDA program, if you're familiar with it, you'll know that there's a two-step process right now. First, businesses must be certified as either a small, minority, or women-owned business through the South Central Texas Regional Certification Agency, which is now known as Supply SA. And then secondly, a business must be headquartered within the San Antonio metropolitan statistical area, so the counties you see listed are shown there on the slide, or have a significant business presence within the San Antonio MSA. So significant business presence was defined as having an office located within the SAMHSA for a period of 1 year with at least 20% of their workforce located out of that office. Again, that is the current eligibility, but there are changes to that. So now going from that 2-step process, it will be a 3-step process. Businesses will continue to need to be certified through the SET-RCA. In addition to that, they will need to be headquartered in the San Antonio MSA. That means we are eliminating the significant business presence portion of eligibility. And then third, the business, and particularly business owners, must meet personal net worth criteria. Now, if you're familiar with the Federal Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, this change will mirror the criteria set forth within the DBE program. So again, looking at the significant business presence portion, it will eliminate that criteria that is currently existing. So you must be headquartered. And so through our data analysis, we found that the vast majority of businesses that do business with the city of San Antonio through the SBEDA program are headquartered in the MSA. So this change has a minimal impact on it. And again, continues to ensure that our program is narrowly tailored to the area where we do the majority of our business in. Now, we've reached out to all the businesses impacted by this change, and while they'll no longer be eligible for benefits under the SBEDA program, they are certainly free to continue to participate on city solicitations and submit their proposals. Now moving into the larger change, which is the implementation of the personal net worth criteria. So to be eligible for this SBEDA program, majority of business owner may not have a personal net worth greater than $2.047 million. Again, this mirrors the standard in the federal DBE program and will apply to both prime and subcontractors. So for those unfamiliar with personal net worth, it is a calculation of a person's assets less their liabilities. So you'll see listed here is a non-exhaustive list of what is included as assets and liabilities. Assets including things like cash, retirement accounts, life insurance, real estate outside of the primary residence, as well as stake in businesses outside of the business which they are applying for, are using to respond to a solicitation. And again, a non-exhaustive list of liabilities there. So some things that are not included, as I mentioned, are the individual's primary residence, also the stake in the business which they are seeking to do business with the city with. So if you own a construction firm, but then also have real estate holdings as a separate business, those real estate holdings would count towards your personal net worth, but not your stake in the construction firm. So how will we capture this data? So we will capture this data through the city central vendor registry, where participants will be required to complete an attestation process to whether or not their personal net worth is above or below that $2.047 million threshold. For those who have done business with the city of San Antonio in the past, you may be familiar with, we go through a CVR re-verification process every number of years. And so we will use that process to complete this certification. So the most important thing you can do right now is update your information in the central vendor registry, including names, phone numbers, email addresses, and address, as we'll use that information to be able to conduct our outreach to ensure everyone has an opportunity to complete their re-verification as well as their personal net worth attestation. And so to assist in this process, we'll also be holding in-person sessions at the Maestro Entrepreneur Center during the month of June. So if you need assistance with logging into your account, I would like to better understand personal net worth and how it's calculated, or just complete the process, we'll have staff on hand to be able to assist with that process along the way. Now looking at our SBEDA tools and changes to those happening. So among the tools we're changing is the elimination of minority and women-owned business prime contract points. So we will continue to offer small business enterprise points. However, the MWBE points will be going away on new solicitations and will be converted to small business points. We are adding, though, emerging business tools to support the growth of those micro businesses in our community and competing. And so contracting goals of up to 40% will be applied on solicitations to encourage the utilization of those emerging small businesses. Emerging small businesses are defined as those up to 25% of the SBA size standard, and you are able to gain this certification along with all the others through the SUT RCA. So for instance, in the construction industry, these SBA size standard is roughly $39 million. So those up to 25% of that $39 million threshold will be eligible to be certified as an emerging small business. If you currently have an emerging small business certification, that will continue to be honored. In addition, we will be allowing small minority women-owned businesses to self-perform contracting goals up to all levels of city projects. So currently, a self-performance is allowed on contracts of up to 10 million. However, going forward, if a small minority women-owned business is able to fully complete the contract, those thresholds will be removed. In addition, we are adding tools to encourage more joint venture partnerships, as this is both beneficial for the large businesses as well as our small businesses to gain access to these larger city contracts. And we'll be removing a few underutilized, or in this case, completely unutilized tools. All three tools listed here have not been utilized since their addition in 2011. So again, to continue to tailor our ordinance, we'll be removing these tools and adding the others to those that we have available. So again, what can you do to get ready for these changes? As I mentioned, logging into the city's central vendor registry and updating your portal with contact information. We are going to be doing lots of outreach. And so if you have additional questions after this session, please plan to attend an in-person session later this month at the Maestro Entrepreneur Center. You can scan the QR code on the screen to register for that one directly, as well as sign up for the City Small Business newsletter. So we provide lots of information related to the SBEDA program, the amendments process, CVR re-verification, as well as other programs available through the City of San Antonio's Economic Development and our department and our partners. So highly encourage you to sign up for the newsletter as we try to provide timely information in support of our small businesses. And so, as I mentioned, we're going to be having those specific working sessions on the CVR re-verification, as well as completing the personal net worth attestation. We currently don't have registration open for those, but did want to provide the dates, and they will again be hosted at the Maestro Entrepreneur Center. So please mark your calendars, make plans to attend, sign up for our newsletter. So when we start sending out those invitations to register, you'll be the first ones to know. Jump into Q&A in just a second, but you know, at any point, if you have questions about the changes to the SBEDA program or the SBEDA program in general, or other small business related questions, please feel free to reach out to our office. We have our contact information on the screen, phone, and email, and we will be happy to assist you. And I did see a question pop up on, believe it was, where's Shirts Cibolo included in the MSA? And yes, those are in Comal County. And so Comal County is part of San Antonio MSA. Celeste, I don't know if we have any other questions currently. If not, feel free to add them, submit your questions, and we'll get those answered.
Yeah, none at the moment, but like Anna said, feel free to pop those in the chat.
chat the QR code for the newsletter. I will pop that up right now.
There's a question, if my registered agent is in Travis County, but I work from my home office in Shirts, what does that mean for participation in the program?
So whatever address is utilized in the cities, that is, I guess, provided in your business documentation, as well as what is provided in your certification, that's the address we'll utilize. So if that is out of Austin, you would not be eligible for benefits under the SBEDA program. Again, free to respond to city solicitations. But
The next question, for the SCTRCA certification, I can use that address. And that's a follow-up to that previous question, Anna.
yes, the address that is your business is certified through is the address that you can utilize when you register with the city. And so if that is within San Antonio, then you are eligible for the program. And if you are currently eligible under the significant business presence portion, we did reach out by mail to all of those impacted. And so you should have received a letter. But if you have specific questions, again, feel free to give us a call. We can look it up and give you that more detailed answer.
Another question came through, is a separate application process required for the ESBE with the SCTRCA?
It's the same application process. So when you submit your information, you're able to gain the certifications as long as you submit all the necessary documentation. If you have specific questions about your certification status, you can reach out to us, but more directly to the SCTRCA, and they can update you on that. These are great questions. Thank you, everyone. Someone I'm seeing also, if someone just got certified as an ESBE within the last few months, do you still need to register online? Yes, you'll need to register to do business with the city of San Antonio. If you visit the city's website at sa.gov, you'll see a link there to doing business with the city of San Antonio. And it will give you all the necessary steps in order to register with the city. When you do complete your registration with the city and enter in your industry codes, just know that you will get updates on when solicitations are released related to what you do. So if you're not registered with the city, highly encourage it. We are issuing solicitations regularly. And again, if you have that registration, you'll get notified as soon as they come out. We will make this presentation available on the city's the economic development website. So be on the lookout for that. We can make it available.
Yes, there's a question about the recording as well. That will also be hosted on the site that Anna previously mentioned.
If There are no additional questions at this time. Again, feel free to reach out to us. I will put our contact information up one more time. Feel free to reach out to us with any specific questions you might have about your business or about the process in general. And of course, be on the lookout for more information as far as the CVR re-verification, as well as completing that personal net worth attestation. But again, thank you everyone for joining us and hope you have a great afternoon.